This is the Enetri Shelf by IKEA. Now this shelf is one of the most popular shelves today, and I'm going to tell you where you can purchase this item. Spoiler alert, it may be harder than you think because this shelf is discontinued by IKEA. Now before I go there, before I tell you some places where you can purchase this shelf, I want to number one explain why this shelf is so popular. So the first reason why this shelf is so popular is that it is an amazing shelf that goes well with any design. It's adaptable, and it basically can go with your contemporary modern design as well as your Danish modern design. It's a shelf that looks good in any situation that you put it in. The second reason why people love it, it's very adaptable. You can put it to whatever space you want. If you have a longer space, if you have a shorter space, it fits amazing, and it's a really unique and welcoming shelf that you can be very creative with. The third reason why it's super popular is because of TikTok. Somebody on TikTok posted this shelf and it is blown up. I mean, you really can't get your hands on it, and that is the reason why I'm making this video, to help you all out there, because this shelf is a tough item to purchase. So I've had the opportunity to buy about 3 or 4 of these shelves. I'm a mid-century modern dealer, so I don't have it in my personal house. I've had the ability to sell it to other people so that they can add this beautiful piece to their collection. But the places to secure this shelf, I have 3 main places, and essentially depends on what you're trying to pay. So the first place that I would say that I personally would suggest finding the shelf is Facebook Marketplace. And from my experience, you have to do these 3 items to secure one of these shelves on Facebook Marketplace, because it's tough. The first thing you have to do is use the right keywords. Number 2 is you have to be persistent. And number 3, you got to be aggressive. So number 1, using the right keywords. When I'm talking about using the right keywords, you have to type in Enetri Shelf or IKEA Enetri Shelf or IKEA Shelf. You have to use those 3 words, and you have to type them in pretty much every day. The way Facebook Marketplace works, it works similar to YouTube in a way where it uses algorithms to suggest the listings for you. Now, if you continue to type in IKEA Enetri Shelf or Enetri Shelf, then that notifies Facebook Marketplace, hey, this individual is looking for this. Let me show them feeds similar to that search. After a while, if you can continue to do that, you're going to start seeing more IKEA shelf listings pop up on your home page, and that's when you're golden. Continue to look, continue to type either that keyword in that morning or during that day, once a day is my suggestion, and you will be able to find listings that showcase the IKEA Enetri Shelf. Now, let's just say you type in Enetri Shelf, you've done that for maybe a week, and nothing is populating for that search term. Broaden your search term a little bit. Go IKEA Shelf. I guarantee there's people out there selling the Enetri Shelf that don't know what the name of it is, so they just put IKEA Shelf. If you do that, you broaden your term, you will find a shelf. Now, you got to use these keywords every day because, like I said, Facebook Marketplace is like an algorithm like YouTube, and the more you search a term, the more listings pop up for that term. Now, secondly, I said you got to be persistent. And you got to search every day, like I said, but you also got to look every day. These Enetri shelves pop up randomly, and I would hate for you to not be looking one day. It pops up, it sells in your location, and it's gone. I would hate that for you, but you have to be persistent. If you want to find this rare shelf, you got to do it almost every day. You got to be persistent in your search. And the third tip for you to find the Enetri Shelf, you got to be aggressive. Let's just say you do the tips like I just mentioned. You put in the keywords. You actually find the listing. You got to be aggressive with the seller. So for instance, you find it, you sell it, you press that message. Hey, is this available? They say, yes, it's available. From there, you got to be aggressive. Hey, can I meet you today? Hey, can I pick it up today? Or hey, when can we get together? You got to be aggressive with the meeting, because you would hate for them to find someone else and they say, hey, I'll pay you this if you sell it to this, and I just don't want to go through that. So whenever you find a listing, be aggressive, be the first one, be present, be prompt, get there, pick it up, have the cash ready or have whatever payment ready, so it's an easy transaction. That's how you secure your Enetri IKEA shelf. I've done this about 3 times now, and it's worked all 3 times. Now, these shelves range between, I've seen them between $100 to $500, And if you're just not finding them after those tips I mentioned, expand your search. So instead of going Enetri IKEA shelf, just type in IKEA shelf. It's going to give you more listings. But if you take your time and you funnel through the listings, you will find that Enetri shelf that someone doesn't know it's Enetri. They just think it's an IKEA shelf that they're trying to sell. Now, if you can do me a favor, stick to the end of the video. This third location will guarantee you to find an Enetri IKEA shelf. I know there's a lot of people out there who want it, and this is the place for you. It will guarantee find you one. So stick around to the third location. I would hate for you to miss out on it. The second place that I would suggest finding the Enetri IKEA shelf is antique stores. Now, the downside about looking at antique stores is you don't know if the shelf's going to be there. The upside, that's an upside with Facebook Marketplace. You search, when you find it, you know exactly where to go. That's not the case with the antique store. If you go to several antique stores, you may not find one. My side gig is to sell antique and mid-century modern furniture on the side at these antique stores, and I have an antique booth. So I've been to several antique stores, like more than you can count, and I've only found it there once. So you're really, if you find one at an antique store, you're getting lucky. They are out there. I don't want to discourage you, but you have to be persistent. You have to go to an antique store maybe once a weekend, and you got to look. But the positive side about an antique store is, number one, you get to put your hands on it. You get to feel it. You get to see what's going on. And number two, it's going to probably be in good condition. Majority of the times, antique stores has items in good condition. So if you can find one there, you're winning. So price range at an antique store, they usually range between $300 to $800 for IKEA Enetri shelf. Now, positive for finding at an antique store is that they're going to be in really, really good condition. Negative for looking at an antique store, you just don't know if you're going to find it. So that's place number 2 and looking for the Enetri IKEA shelf. Location number 3, I will say this about this location, you will guarantee find it every time. That is the positive. You can find it in the exact color you want, exact dimensions. You will find an Enetri IKEA shelf at this place. The negative side is you're probably going to have to pay up for it, and that is online marketplaces such as Cherished or First Dips. These are online vintage antique store marketplaces or antique furniture marketplaces that sell these items. All you gotta do is simply go to one of these websites. I'll just go with Cherished first, and I'll type in IKEA Enetri Shelf. From there, it will show up all the listings of this shelf. You'll go pretty much worldwide. You'll have so much to choose from. Now, like I said, this is your more expensive route, but if you just truly want one, boom, go there. Now, another thing that you have to factor in is it normally probably won't be near you, so you have to pay for either shipping cost or going to pick it up. But hey, if you want that exact piece, if you want to pay a little bit more, just so you know you have it, I would suggest going to Cherished or First Dips. Now, those are the 3 places that I have seen the Enetri shelves available for sale. Like I said, this is a hard item because it's been discontinued. It came out in the 1980s. I think it's been discontinued in the early 2000s. Don't quote me on that. So this shelf is very, very, very desirable, but also extremely hard to find. Now, I will say this. If you're anything like me, you're trying to find value, the best place by far is Facebook Marketplace. You just have to be persistent, and you have to use the right keywords. If you find it there, I found Enetri shelves on there for $200, and I've sold them for a little bit more expensive. But I'm telling you, if you get on Facebook Marketplace, you put in the right keywords, and you search every day, you will eventually have one that turns up for you. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And if you're interested in learning more about the history of the Enetri IKEA shelf, check this video out right here. And like always, peace.